Welcome back to the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Justin Stoddart. Today, I have a very special treat for you today. We're going to talk all about partnerships. Your life is where it is because of the way you think and because of the people that you're surrounded by. Today, we're going to interview somebody who has taken their life and business to the next level through key strategic partnerships, and we're going to teach you how to do the same. Her name is Ali Wise. Before I fully introduce Ali, let me do this. Let me remind you that inside of the Think Bigger Real Estate group on Facebook, we continue the conversation. You can only learn so much by listening. You really start to learn when you engage, when you start to actually join into the conversation. And that's exactly what that group allows you to do. So if you're not yet a member of that, go do that now. Today's guest, again, back to her. Her name is Ali Wise. She's fantastic. I've been following her online, met her in person, I guess several years ago. And I've just seen her absolutely blossom and just recently just explode. So Ali, thank you for coming on the show today. We're so interested in learning from you today. And I know you've got so much going on between a busy family life, a busy expanding business, husband's busy business. Like, you just have lots going on. So we're honored that you're here to be with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine. Okay, let's get into this, Ali. Your real estate business is in expansion mode, right? You said something to start off like always expanding. What else did you say? You added something to that was super interesting.
Expansion always, in all ways.
Boy, isn't that cool? Tell me, what does that mean to you? I've got my own concepts, but what does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's just constantly growing, constantly meeting people, nurturing relationships. I'm a huge believer in the power of relationships and the power of social media and how people can connect and help each other grow and help each other be successful, whatever that looks like.
Yeah. So just yesterday, I had a conversation with one of my key mentors. And he shared it this way. He said, me and my partner, now they own a big venture capital fund right now. He said, we typically go and we invest in businesses. And he said, I looked at this business. He said, I know nothing about this business. I would never invest in it. Okay. And then he said, his partner nudged him and said, I will put down whatever amount of money it takes to be a part of that investment. And my mentor was like, what? He said, look at the list of other investors. And one of them was Elon Musk Trust, like the family trust.
Okay.
So they found out like, okay, how much does it take to be a part of this? They participated in that in order to gain access, right? And they said now they have this practice of like, there's a certain amount of money that they're going to dedicate simply to partner, whether they believe in the business or not, but to build relationships, to simply be around people that can grow you. Because it's not always, the small-minded person, he said, looks at it as if, okay, how much money is this and what's going to be my return? And you can't put it in those terms, can you? When you're partnering in ways that you're now partnering, right? With like Elena Cardone, right? Mm-hmm. The Cardone family, which is one of the biggest names in business. Yep. You can't look at it to say like, now what's their brokerage fees versus my brokerage fees? Like if you went that route, what would you have missed out on?
Oh, so much. It's all about the opportunity. You're right. It has nothing to do with the fees. It's about, the opportunity for success and growth and partnership and it's kind of an upward snowball from there.
Yeah. So your husband has partnered very closely with Brandon Dawson, right? Who's partnered directly with Grant Cardone.
Correct.
Obviously, the Cardones have entered into the residential real estate space. Yep. You've now partnered directly with Elena Cardone.
Yep.
Just recently.
We're one big happy family.
right. That's funny. Now that you've been in those conversations that you weren't privy to previously, right? You were at different brokerages. You were building still a solid real estate practice, getting great experience, offering great value to your customers. Now that you're exposed to these bigger conversations, what's changed for you?
Oh gosh, everything. So I kind of back to the whole relationship, social media thing. Like you said, the Cardones have a microphone in their hand and it's a global one. And anything that they say, people follow, people listen. It's attractive. They are successful people. Grant and Elena have worked very hard to build their empire, to build their success and, to show it off. You don't just buy a plane for the heck of it. Like that's, Elena talks about like the private plane and the helicopters that they own now. Those are their Super Bowl rings. Those are their awards, their achievements that they can say like, we don't just go buy those things because we're rich enough to buy those things. We buy them because it helps us, think about the time and money that you save flying privately, not having to sit in airports, go through lines, check in, et cetera, do all that kind of stuff. So it's one of those, like, time is money. It's a valuable thing. You can't get it back. And so the relationships are huge. I mean, I've watched them do what they do on social media, everything that they push out on Instagram and Facebook and through their websites and through all the programs and trainings that they offer. And with my husband being chief marketing officer for Cardone Ventures, I kind of have my own personal CMO, which is amazing and not something I take for granted, of course. But I've learned an immense amount of just being omnipresent is the word that Grant uses, like always have something online for people to see, whether it's, hi, it's Thursday and the sun is shining and I just wanted to say hello and let me know how I can help you today. Or if it's like, oh, here's a cute picture of my kids. Or if it's scream it from the mountaintops, I just closed $1 million deal, or whatever it is. Like, just be omnipresent, right? Like have something for somebody to see no matter when it is they log in on social media. And through that, the things that I have learned from my husband, Brandon, his fiance, Natalie, they're both at Cardone Ventures, and then Grant and Elena, Cardone Capital and the Cardone family, is to just be out there, like, and be yourself too. I mean, like what you see right here, this is what you get. I am the same person with my clients, my friends, my kids, my husband. So I am the same, whether I'm being the mom, the wife, the boss, the realtor, whoever it is. And through those relationships, I have grown my business. So, I mean, just last week I had somebody reach out to me saying, hey, I want to join your, I put something out there. I said, who wants to join my team? I'm looking to expand. And you don't have to be in Oregon or Washington to grow with me. You can be anywhere in the world. And I always have a few people that reach out and they're curious and they want to know more about what it is I'm building for myself, what it is I'm doing to partner with Elena Cardone, and how I'm building my team alongside with her at eXp Realty. And so I'm happy to explain and say, this is what I'm doing. It's exciting. We'd love to have you, no pressure. Let me know how I can, even if you don't join me, like, let me know how I can help you. I'm always available to help people. I love helping people. And so I now have a new agent that joined my team last week in Texas. My assistant just got licensed here in Washington, which is great. And then I've got a new member joining my team next week in Rhode Island. Met her on Instagram. I've never seen her in person, but it's the power of relationships and social media. And then I also have somebody who's looking at me in Tennessee. So it's crazy, and I love meeting people. And if I get the opportunity to meet them in person, of course, I want to take that, because it just, adds fuel to the fire of growth and success.
Man, I love your answer. There's a couple things I want to point out. One is, you talked about the planes and the helicopters, and I think for some people that can be a bit of a turnoff. Here's what here's how I see it, is that if you really want to impact a lot of people, you have to get their attention first, right? Yep. You cannot impact anybody who does not know you exist, period. And sometimes the way to go about that is you have to have the courage to be loud. You have to have the courage to be like, some people are not going to like this. Yep. I don't really like, my mission isn't about making everybody like me. My mission is about impacting and improving as many people as I can reach. And Absolutely. If an airplane and a helicopter is what gets people's attention so that I can then pour into them and help them, then that's a different story. Then who cares what the haters think, right?
Exactly. And that's what Grant talks about that too. He says, listen, if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right. Your problems are not big enough. Yeah. And I think that's huge. I mean, if you really think about that, your problems are not big enough. Like, what does that mean to everybody? Everybody's got problems. And if it's not something that can turn into something positive and successful in the end, it's not a big enough problem, and some people totally take that the wrong way too, and that's fine. But yeah, you're exactly right. You have to be loud. You have to be yourself. You have to really stand for what it is that you believe in. And if that's growth and success, then make it happen, and don't be afraid to scream it from the mountaintops. That's one of the things that Ryan Serhant, star of $1 Million Listing New York, really hammers in. I did a mentorship program with him last year and flew to New York City, met with him and his team, and we've maintained a really pretty tight relationship with the president of the Serhant brand, Kyle Scott, amazing guy, worked as a producer for NBC for a long time. And that's one of the things that they say is like, scream all your successes from the mountaintops, because if you don't, no one's going to hear you. And it's kind of like that adrenaline rush. Like, even I remember back to becoming a realtor for the very first time. My first transaction ever was to sell first time home buyer to my brother and his wife. And it was perfect because I got to kind of be the guinea pig and learn, have a couple that was willing to learn with me and know that I was brand new. And as soon as we closed, I was just like, wow, that was so cool. I can't wait to do it again and again and again and again. And, and like I said, it snowballs upward from there because that's how it should be. And I'll share something that Brandon speaks about often, Brandon Dawson, CEO of Cardone Ventures. He says, what you think is what you say is what you do, and what you do ultimately becomes your legacy. And I think that's amazing. It's such a concept. And if you think about it and you apply it to literally everything in life, it makes sense. It really does.
Such great tips. How fun to hear, like, kind of behind the curtain stuff that you're learning from people that are worth tens and hundreds of millions of dollars.
So many millions. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a little overwhelming at times. And, sometimes you just kind of like, oh, I'm just here in the corner doing my business. But yeah, no, it's great. It's like I said, it's all about the opportunity. It's not something I take for granted. Partnering with Elena and having kind of firsthand knowledge into the life of the Cardones and the life of the Dawsons, or soon to be Dawsons. Brandon and Natalie are getting married later this fall. So they're all 100% my mentors and now family friends.
So cool. Well, you mentioned something else about, the Cardones have like a global microphone. And I think whoever you choose to have as a mentor, right? There's people that can just simply teach you great things, right? Help you to be a better person. There's other people that can actually help accelerate and pour fuel on your efforts, right? I think oftentimes we think that we're being noble for playing small, right? And I'm probably stealing Maya Angelou's famous quote here of like, you do not serve the world by playing small. And I think when we start to realize that there's a lot of people out there, and I would say more all the time, that need leadership, that need good people to say, come with me. This is how you build a better life for you and for your family. And when we start to think less about us of like, oh, I don't want to be arrogant. I don't want to have this all about me. It's not about you, folks. Like, if you play small, it actually is about you. Actually, you're being very selfish because you have a light that you are hiding under a dang bushel, right? Like, you are not lighting up the world like you should be doing. And so I think it's essential that all of us get over our own ego. And it's so often it's misportrayed in the fact that like ego is what causes people to be loud. And it's like, like if your heart's in the right place, it's actually the opposite. Like, I have to be loud because there's people out there that are in the dark that need help, that need my leadership, that need stuff that I can offer to them. Therefore, I'm going to be loud or they'll never find me and I'll never be able to help them.
Right.
And that's what I see what you've done by recognizing that, hey, here's an opportunity for me to stand on the shoulders of giants and build a real estate brand. Now you've got people from all over the country popping up saying, can I follow you? Can I follow you? Right? Who needed leadership, who needed help, who wanted to be served and have a similar experience like you're having, this mentorship at the highest level. They're now able to access that through you where they couldn't have before. They would have been like remained in small thinking, right? And small impact and small income and just scarcity.
Right.
Whereas now, because you were willing to stand up, partner with a bigger name, now you're able to reach people who never would have known about you before, right? I think it's noble. It's awesome.
Yeah. And back to the mentor thing, like, it doesn't have to be a global name like Grant Cardone or Tony Robbins, or if you're specifically in real estate, Tom Ferry or Ryan Serhant. There's other people too. I mean, like, just speaking locally out of, Portland, Oregon, like Justin Harnish is the #1 producing broker in Oregon for like the last 10 years. And he's a local mentor for me. I mean, we've had some great conversations, and he's taught me quite a bit about the luxury real estate space, which that's huge. It's unsolicited advice. It's something I asked for help with, obviously, but until you just reach out and make those connections and just ingratiate, like, hi, I'm newer to this game than you are. I would love to pick your brain. I'd love to ask you a couple questions if you have 10 or 15 minutes to help me. I've been following you. I see what you do. You're obviously killing it. So it doesn't have to be some global big name with a microphone. And a lot of times, you have to pay for those types of things at this stage in life. You have to attend the conference or whatever it is, but there can be mentors on every level. They could literally be in your own backyard.
Yeah. So 2 takeaways that I hope everybody that listens to this gets out of this is, number 1, we have to stop thinking small, right?
Yes.
We have to stop thinking of like ROI on everything that we look at. And we have to be able to then, once we're able to think bigger, to say, okay, who can help me? What giant can I stand on? Like who's already been there, like a Harnish, like you mentioned, right?
Yep.
Whether they be a local or a global or just someone in the office, someone down the hall. Like, stop trying to figure it all out yourself. Realize you can't do it all yourself, and then go ask for people's help. I love that you said that. And then secondly, sometimes, like you said, you got to stroke a check, right? The fact that you have to, like my mentor said, like one of the fastest ways to get to the people that can really help you the most is to let them know that you're serious. So you're not there to just pick their brain, or can I, you got a few minutes, like be willing to say, look, I'd like to hire you for an hour, to consult with me. Right. And there's certain situations where that's appropriate. Other ways you can do it, like you said, is by joining mentorship programs and coaching programs. Right.
Totally.
Like that's actually a way that you let from all the masses of people that are consuming the free content that's out there. You raise your hand saying, I actually want it more, enough to write a check to say, please help me more. I need the help.
Exactly.
You have
to start somewhere for everything in life. Whether you want to tend a bar or be in the beauty industry or get into construction or real estate. Like, everybody starts somewhere. I mean, even you've got kids, I've got kids. They start their education in preschool. Like, literally, we're all in this together. It does take a village. I could not do what I do on a daily basis, whether it's for my business or for my personal life, without the people that I have helping me. I took a big leap. Like, 2 years ago was horrible with delegation. Like, I was kind of one of those like super mom, super wife. I want to do it all. I want to conquer everything by myself. Not in a like, well, kind of in a stubborn way, but not in a selfish way, just in a like, I know I can do it. Why would I pay somebody to help me do it better? I'm just gonna keep pushing myself to do it better. And I got to a breaking point where I was like, listen, I have 3 kids. I have a husband who travels. I, at the time, was still working in corporate real estate, global corporate real estate. I was managing properties in 27 countries and doing residential real estate on the side. This was several years back, but it got to a point where I was like, okay, I gotta slow down. I gotta focus, and I need to figure out what's important to me. And I need to delegate and utilize the people around me to help myself get bigger and grow and be successful. And so that's, a lot of people see Grant and they're like, what's 10X? What does 10X mean? My first grader has like the best response to it. And he said, it means to 10 times your life and 10 times your business so that you can 10 times your money. It's really simple.
It is really simple. I've got a lot of books on my shelf, but people often ask me like, what's one of the biggest, most impactful books?
There you go. I've got them over here. Yep. These.
Yeah. And I go back to it often, right? Because it's at the core, it's the operating system for high octane, right? For achieving at a high level. I love it.
This one, Sell or Be Sold, is a good one. And Be Obsessed or Be Average. And then also Elena wrote How to Build an Empire, which is also amazing. He talks about talks about their struggles and everything, which resonated with me too, because 7.5 years ago, brought my first child into the world with my husband, and we were both collecting unemployment.
Wow.
Like both completely unemployed, in between jobs, had just moved back from out of state back home to Oregon. And I was on a contract with Nike. That contract ended like 6 weeks before our son was born. And he was in the process of transitioning out of owning his own agency into a local Portland agency. And so, yeah, it's kind of, for us, it's one of those like, look at us now, but not in an egotistical manner, in like a real life sense. Like we were both legit collecting unemployment, brought a baby into the world, had no clue what we were doing, as parents, as as employees, hopeful employees for our next endeavors. And then it's just, it's all about making those relationships. You go to work every day, whatever it is, meet people, shake hands if you're comfortable, fist bump, elbow, whatever it is in this day and age with COVID, however you're comfortable meeting people. Hand out business cards, get a digital business card that you can hold up your phone and say, here, scan a QR code, and here's all my info. Here's my name, my phone number, my email. Let's talk, whatever it is. Because you never know what type of relationship might spur from that. I mean, my assistant, for example, she's amazing. Like I said, she just got licensed in the state of Washington. So now I have an additional team member on my team here in Washington that can help on, fully on the real estate side of things. 6 months ago, I've been mentoring her and coaching her on all aspects of real estate, transaction coordination, marketing myself, promote myself, my business, et cetera, and like teaching her all those kinds of things. But before that, she was going to school to be a dentist. And it wasn't I converted her and changed her mind. Like she did all of that on her own, but it was through the power of relationships and her seeing what I was building for her to be like, you know what? I would rather be a part of that than do what I'm currently doing. And I've had a couple people go that route, people, even if they don't, like I said, even if they don't join me, if they don't join EXP, totally fine. They're just like, hey, I think I'm following the same footsteps as what you did, doing the whole corporate thing, transitioning into real estate. How do I do both? How do I continue to be a wife and a mom at the same time? And how do I get it all done in one day? Well, we all are given the same amount of time. So it's all about how you use it. Like I said, time is money, and relationships are huge.
Yeah, so good. Hopefully that's, again, a key takeaway is that at the end of the day, relationships, whether they be with highly influential leaders or just somebody that you're going to pour into, right? Go in the other direction. Helping. One of my mentors said, once you get to the upper level, you got to send the elevator back down.
There you go. I love that. That's amazing. Yeah.
And I feel like that's, you've had the privilege, right, to be able to rub shoulders with, get mentored by some of the top people in the world. And now you're sending the elevator back down by saying, hey, look, if I can help you,
yep,
in any way, let me know, right? Here's a couple options, through ways which I can,
absolutely,
which I can help you. So it's great stuff, Ali. I'm gonna end with this final question, which is our signature question. By the way, this has been so fun. What is it that you do to continue to be a big thinker, to continue to expand Ali Wise's possibilities? What do you do to continue to grow?
That's a great question. My husband and I have this thing where we wake up every morning and we ask each other, what are you going to do today? And it could be so simple as, I'm going to tackle all my calls and I'm going to make sure I manage my time. Or it could be something big. Like I'm going to, for me in my real estate business, I don't cold call. It's just not something I'm good at.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it. I'm not successful at it, but I'm pushing myself to do more things like that. So what are you going to do today to help better yourself? And whatever it is, whether it's, you know what, I'm going to do 10 extra push-ups than I did yesterday, or I'm going to run an extra half a mile than I did yesterday. So we're always pushing ourselves to be to be better parents, to be better spouses, to be better employers, to be better mentors and coaches. And then at the end of the day, we ask each other, how do you feel? Do you feel tired? Do you feel happy? Do you feel productive? Do you feel successful? So that's something that we've implemented into our lives just on a personal level. But I really feel like it's helped us both as individuals, as a team, in our marriage, as parents, and what we do in our own separate professional lives. So yeah, professionally, personally, and financially, it's important to us to ask each other and ourselves those questions every day to continue to push ourselves.
It creates two things, right? Some accountability and also some alignment. That now you and the person that's most important to you on this planet, you're aligned, right? You know what's most important to you for that day, or to each other for that day. It's good stuff. Ali, been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for all you've contributed. And I'm excited to continue to watch your rise. As people want to follow you, they want to learn from you, what's the best way for them to do so? I know you've got a YouTube channel that's fantastic. How do they get to that?
Yeah, if you just search Ali Wise Realtor in the search bar on YouTube, it'll come up. I might have much longer hair. I just chopped my hair off pretty short back in January, but still have some videos with the short hair. I am on Instagram at Ali Wise Realtor, Facebook.com/Ali Wise Realtor, and then my website is wisepropertygroup.com.
I love it. I love it. So good. And if people want to get, have a conversation with you, maybe through Instagram, message you, is that maybe the best way to do that?
Absolutely. Send me a message. I will respond. It's not a team of anybody. It's actually me. I'm not that big. I'm not anything big. I'm just a local mom, wife, realtor, human. Yeah. But yes, absolutely. I'm happy to talk and help anyone with anything.
I love it. It's been such a pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much for everything that you've poured in to us.
Thank you. You're
and
welcome.
I want to thank those that have listened. If you found value here, please give us a review. Whether you're watching this on Facebook, just let us know that this was helpful. If you're watching this on YouTube, same thing, or via the podcast, give us a review. That's always helpful for us to be a little bit more loud and help more people. So please do with that. And my final request of everybody listening here today are these 3 simple words, and they are: go think bigger. Thank you, Ali, for helping us do that today, my friend.
You are welcome.